Um, Hi. It's been a very long time since I've done this sort of thing. So I'd started really getting into music and writing, I think 3 years ago. Um, and a part of me always knew that I kind of wanted to do it, but I was hesitant until I joined a band in college, and then I felt like pretty dedicated to it. And it was good because I had structure. Like I had the band there, felt supported. I was writing a lot and like kind of excited about it, and obviously not much was happening, but it was like a first time thing for me. But I spent a lot of time in college alone. Like all of my time. If I wasn't in class or if I wasn't at my like maybe once a week band practice, I was alone or I was at the gym. Um, but I was writing all the time. So once I was wrapping it up with school, I kind of knew like this was something that I wanted to pursue. And I just like, I had this realization that I just kind of like wait on things. And so I guess instead of like having any patience with this project that I was working on, like kind of being hesitant to like stay in Michigan, I just kind of decided to go for it. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I'm gonna go chase my dreams. So that's what I want to talk about is the experience of chasing your dreams and um at least what that's been for me and like the things that I don't know. So anyway, I drove out to California in the summer of 24, like the end of the summer of 24. I just like gone through Europe, and so I kind of developed this habit of like being homeless. Like I would stay in a place and then I would like go homeless again and like sleep on couches. And so um this pattern like kind of constantly, it was happening like either every 3 weeks or like every 3 months. And like crazy shit would happen. Like my apartment is like in a fire zone, so then I like lose that place, or then like I have to leave like a really bad situation I've gotten myself into, or like that kind of shit. Or I'm just like, and a part of me is that that habit made it feel like I had momentum. It's like I'm done with this place. I'm on to the next chapter of my career. I basically came out here on a fucking mission. The mission was to like become the thing I've always wanted to be and get all of the do the songs and get real connected and become a rock star. Like that's why we did this shit. Trust me, I would not be in Los Angeles if I was pursuing literally anything else. Um, but yeah, so I mean, I've been out here what, over a year and a half now. And I feel like I've hit a bit of a roadblock. Um, I mean, obviously things change like every couple months, but I'm starting to get to a point where like, okay, a year ago I was kind of doing the same things, like working the same job, performing at the same place. Granted, within a year, I've released, I'm about to release, I think, my fourth single, and I have an entire full length EP coming out. And, like, I've played it, like some pretty big venues, like the Troubadour and shit. But, um, the thing is, like, when you come out to a place to pursue your dreams, it's almost like things sort of happen to you at first because of like an open mindedness, right? And an excitement about things. Um, So when I got out here, and especially when I was going through that like turnover, like every couple of whatever's, I'm moving, things are happening. Sure, I'm like going homeless, but hey, it's exciting and it keeps things going. So I found that like once I got settled in, um, I actually kind of like started to feel a bit stuck. And then the stuckness was sticking, and now it's like the routine that I'm in is very sticky, and I feel a bit trapped in it. And this has been like the case with any time I live anywhere super long, because as a kid I was always like moving around a lot. But I found that like I've almost become stagnant. Like I don't really have a lot of excitement for doing the things that I was doing, just like random gigs, like bar gigs. I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore. Like, and I don't know if that's like a utilitarian thing because I felt like I was getting something out of it, but like, at least the idea of like going and performing at a place that I know like doesn't already have an audience there, or it's not something new, like I've done it before, I'm like, ugh. And so the thing that I love the most is the thing that I'm doing the least. And I think that also just has to do with like, when you get in a routine and like, I'm living alone in Venice, like paying my own rent, working a job, that kind of stuff. All of it is fine, and I enjoy it. Like I like the place that I live. My job is cool. Um, but it's not like the thing that I felt like I was going for. And there's always that voice in my head that's like, if you just would have stuck it out a little longer, you didn't settle for like, that kind of stuff, you could have been at a different place. Because I do find that like I get motivated when I'm in a place where I have to kind of like figure it out. And now that there's like a level of comfortability in my life, I've just like completely dropped the fucking napkin and taking the longest amount of time to pick it back up. Uh, and I'm actually a little, it stresses me out a lot. And now I think, like, obviously, all I was ever thinking about since I got out here was the career. But now it's like, well, how do I, one, get out of this, and two, keep going? But it's become such, the thing about like this dream for me is it, it's like obsessive. It's like I don't have a choice. All I really want to do is like be able to be in that like flow state, or to be writing or be performing, but then like the business part of it takes over, and um the networking game that exists here takes over, and the pressure. And so all I think about is like the people that are in my day to day, how I'm looking online, like, so all of these things kind of accumulate, and I get so overwhelmed. And then, now I have this doubt in me too of like, oh yeah, like record labels are gonna fuck you over anyways. Like, there's no point of trying that. Like, if you sign to them, they're not gonna release anything. Like, it's just not gonna work out for you, right? And so now I've developed this like doubt, and it's like I just live in this like whirlpool of trying to figure it out. And that is the dream killer. That is what kills dreams. And I think that's why so many people struggle, especially in Los Angeles, is because you have to figure out how to figure it out. Because I couldn't, one, I couldn't be a nomad forever, right? I was actually going crazy. I really wanted an apartment. But then, like, once you, like, try to establish a life here, things just get even, I would say, even more complicated too, because I never imagined myself being attached to the city. Like, I don't want to stay. I don't want to stay, but I'm here. And so it feels really really confusing and really overwhelming, and I'm just like trying to figure it out. What's my next move? How do I get out of here? Like, where do I go? Is this the right place to be? Um, and all of these things are just so all consuming, and the anxiety has been like absurd the past couple of weeks, months. Like, I just like, there's some days where I'm like, I cannot stand being here. Can't stand like being, um, and especially now as artists, since like all of the plates are kind of put into our hands. It's like you got to do everything before anyone's even interested in you anymore. Um, so yeah, it's really interesting because I feel like, even though it's not the case, I feel so far from like what I like feel like I should be doing on the day to day. Um, yeah, and I think last year was just so traumatizing for me that I'm almost like maybe afraid to get back into it. Um, but all this to say is like chasing your dreams is like the hardest thing, not because I don't actually think it's hard. I think it makes you face like everything about yourself. And it just constantly feels like a question of, you sure? Like, you really want this? Is this really what you want? And a lot of the times it feels like everything is just working out of your favor. Um, a lot of like I question why I'm even doing this still. Like, I think of my family, and like, just like the ease that I might have been able to have instead of just all the crazy shit. I'm like, oh man, like, and like, I'm kind of in the same position that I was before I left college, where it's like, okay, I'm like spending a lot of my time alone again, and when I'm going out, it's only for the sake of like music stuff or work. Uh, and I just spent like the past hour and a half looking through my camera roll, and I'm like, holy shit, like, I forgot about my life. Like, and that's what I'm saying is like this beast of like this like obsession, and this is honestly, this like thing is not a part of even like the music that I feel like I'm writing. Like, this is almost like an identity that I'm trying to develop, or like a career, or like an idea. Like, this isn't me. This isn't like the art that I make. I feel so disconnected from myself. And I feel like I've forgotten who I am. Like, I'm looking through these pictures and I was like, I did that? I looked like that? Like, and it's really interesting because I don't know if it's always been like this for me, or if it's just since I got out here, but I just don't really know what's going on anymore. And I think that's fine, but it's just not what I thought it would be. And I don't think I'm done, but like, yeah, I've got it like this, like, I have to start doing something different, because it's just not sustainable. Like, I mean, it is until I drive myself into a crazy town. Um, yeah, I don't know. But I do think, all of it has put, like, quite some years on me, but, if I would have stayed in Michigan, like, what, I don't know what that would have looked like. But, a lot of the times, like, I do feel like, oh, this was a huge mistake, you know? But I remember driving out here, my whole thing was like, I'd rather give it a go and fuck up than, never try it and regret not doing it. Um, so here we are. Needless to say, like, I've really only been at it, like, only really at it since I would say August. Okay. That's putting me at what? 8 months? 9 months? But I also think I experience time differently. Like, I feel like things, like, one day feels like a week for me. Like, this shit never ends. Um, but no, I do think it's really important to, to give it a go. But, and don't expect it to be hard because I think that's a bad, um, like, preliminary idea to have about things, but just expect it to be raw. Yeah. Um, and the authentic part is the only thing that matters. That shit's raw. Okay. Well, I don't really know where I'm going with this. But yeah. Anyway, my project that I was on a mission to come out here and complete is out the end of the month. So, for what it's worth, at least something got done. Um, yeah. Okay.